This is the stock camera app for the iPhone. So you can see around the window it's kind of dark. So in automatic it's always going to try to expose the brightest thing, which it's doing fairly well, although the exposure is still a little bit blown out in the window. So let's see what that looks like in FilmicPro. So in FilmicPro I have some options. I can control the focus and lock it down, but I can also play with the exposure. So right now I'm exposing for the window, kind of a balance in between the two. And if you notice, even just normal, the shadows around the window aren't as dark as in the native camera app. So we have a more uniform dynamic range of color rather than sharp contrasts. So right now I'm going to expose for the window, and yes, I would expect it to get darker. And I actually have some control of how I want this thing to expose. So that is a cool feature. You can play around with the exposure. And it's not always going to be perfect. If you're shooting professionally, obviously you'd be working with some lighting. But I'm in a very dark room, and I'm actually very impressed with just a regular cell phone being able to give me a very uniform dynamic range, which I could also edit more and export into an editor. Now the other thing which you cannot do with your phone is rack focus or a push and a pull. So I'm gonna do a smooth. I'm gonna zoom in and zoom out. Cannot do that with your cell phone. Feature's not there, and that's actually a very hard thing to do on a DSLR or a mirrorless camera also, and to get that smooth focus. So anyway, yeah, just something you play around with. The more you shoot, the better you'll get, and video is definitely a learning curve. So you'll figure out what works, what doesn't work. I can even play with the white balance here. I can even cool it down a little bit, make it a little bluer and less hot, which I just did. So anyway, we'll get more into that into the class. Talk to you soon.